I, William Jefferson Clinton, do solemnly swear.
I, Jimmy Carter.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
I, George Walker Bush, do solemnly swear.
So help you God.
So help me 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 God.
So help you God. So help me God.
So help me God.
With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right.
April 14, 1865, Washington, D.C., Ford's Theater. A pistol shot shatters the night, silencing a nation's hope for healing. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, falls, a casualty of a war he had just won. But who was this towering figure, this rail splitter from the prairie, who steered America through its darkest hour? Tonight, we peel back the layers of the legend to reveal the man, his wit, his woes, his family, his frugal habits, and the meals that fueled the mind that saved a nation. Get ready for a journey from a Kentucky log cabin to the pantheon of American heroes. Born on February 12, 1809, in a humble log cabin near Hodgenville, Kentucky, Abraham Lincoln's early life was a stark contrast to the grandeur of the presidency. His parents, Thomas and Nancy Hanks Lincoln, were frontier farmers. Education was a luxury, not a given. Young Abe received less than a year of formal schooling in total, famously educating himself by reading every book he could get his hands on, often by candlelight. Imagine a future president devouring knowledge by firelight. His family moved frequently, first to Indiana, then to Illinois, always chasing a better life. Lincoln tried his hand at various jobs: rail splitter, store clerk, postmaster, and even a flatboatman on the Mississippi River. These experiences shaped his understanding of the common man and instilled in him a grounded practicality. His keen intellect and knack for storytelling quickly became apparent, even in the rough-and-tumble world of frontier life. Lincoln taught himself law, passing the bar examination in 1836. He quickly gained a reputation as an astute lawyer with a sharp mind and a powerful, if unconventional, speaking style. He served in the Illinois state legislature and later in the U.S. House of Representatives. But it was his passionate opposition to the expansion of slavery that truly propelled him onto the national stage. His debates with Stephen Douglas in 1858, though he lost the Senate race, made him a household name and defined his political identity. The 1860 presidential election was arguably the most consequential in American history. With the nation teetering on the brink of disunion over the issue of slavery, Lincoln, representing the fledgling Republican Party, secured the presidency. His victory, however, was the spark that ignited the Civil War. Lincoln's presidency was defined by the cataclysmic Civil War, a conflict that tested the very fabric of American democracy. His primary goal was to preserve the Union, even if it meant a bloody struggle. He showed remarkable resolve and strategic brilliance as commander-in-chief.
Blood's been spilled to afford us this moment. Now!
But beyond the battlefield, Lincoln understood the moral imperative of the war. On January 1, 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, a bold move that declared slaves in Confederate territory free, fundamentally transforming the nature of the war into a fight for human liberty. This act wasn't just a military strategy. It was a profound moral declaration that forever changed the course of American history. He also pushed for the 13th Amendment, abolishing slavery nationwide, a monumental accomplishment that he fought for tirelessly until his death. His Gettysburg Address, delivered in just over 2 minutes, remains one of the most powerful and enduring speeches in human history, redefining the purpose of the American experiment.
77 years ago, our fathers.
The Lincoln White House during the Civil War was a somber place, fraught with anxiety and personal tragedy. Mary Todd Lincoln, his wife, was a complex and often misunderstood figure. Intelligent and politically savvy, she was also prone to fits of temper and deep depression, exacerbated by the immense pressures of the war and the personal losses they endured. Their marriage was, at times, tumultuous, but also deeply affectionate. Mary was fiercely devoted to Abraham, and he relied on her emotional support, especially during the darkest days of the war. They had 4 sons, but only one, Robert Todd Lincoln, survived to adulthood. The deaths of their young sons, Eddie and Willie, particularly Willie's death in the White House, plunged both parents into profound grief. Imagine presiding over a nation at war while mourning your own child. Now, about their meals. The Lincolns were not known for lavish White House dining. Lincoln himself was a man of simple tastes, often described as preferring plain, hearty food. He wasn't a gourmand, and during the war, the focus was more on sustenance than extravagance. His favorite meals were reportedly simple, rustic dishes, often just an apple, some crackers, or a piece of cheese. For more formal occasions, they might have roasted meats like turkey or chicken, potatoes, and vegetables. Coffee was a constant. Before his presidency, Abraham and Mary lived in a modest but comfortable home in Springfield, Illinois. This was the only home Lincoln ever owned. It was a 2-story house, expanded over the years as their family grew. Here, Lincoln practiced law, raised his family, and honed his political skills. It was a place of relative stability before the storm of the presidency.
During his presidency, of course, the White House was their home. But it wasn't just the official residence. During the sweltering Washington summers, the Lincoln family would often retreat to the Soldiers' Home, a cottage a few miles outside the city. It was here, in this quieter, more reflective setting, that Lincoln often drafted some of his most profound speeches and wrestled with the weighty decisions of the war. It offered him a crucial respite from the relentless demands of the White House. Lincoln was a man of distinctive habits. He was a night owl, often working late into the night, reading dispatches and pondering strategy. He was known for his humor and his legendary storytelling ability. He used anecdotes and jokes to diffuse tension, illustrate points, and sometimes to simply cope with the immense stress he was under. He had a dry, self-deprecating wit that endeared him to many, even his political opponents. He was also notoriously disheveled, known for his ill-fitting clothes and unkempt hair. But beneath that exterior was a mind of unparalleled clarity and compassion. He was known for his deep empathy, often visiting wounded soldiers in hospitals, listening to their stories and offering words of comfort. He was a true man of the people. Abraham Lincoln's net worth was surprisingly modest for a president. He was not a man driven by wealth. While he earned a respectable income as a lawyer, he wasn't known for accumulating vast sums. At the time of his death, his estate was valued at around $83,000, which, while a significant sum in 1865, placed him far from the wealthiest men of his era. This modest fortune reflects his simple lifestyle, and his dedication to public service over personal enrichment. He truly lived the ideal of a public servant. Sadly, for Abraham Lincoln, there was no life after the White House. His presidency ended abruptly and tragically. On April 14, 1865, just 5 days after Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered, Lincoln attended a performance at Ford's Theater. There, he was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer. The nation, already weary from war, was plunged into unimaginable grief. He died the following morning, April 15, 1865, at the age of 56. His death sent shockwaves across the globe, a brutal reminder of the deep divisions that still plagued the country. Lincoln's death solidified his place as a martyr for the Union and for human liberty. His assassination, coming at the moment of victory, left the difficult task of reconstruction to his successor, Andrew Johnson, a task that proved far more complex and contentious than Lincoln might have envisioned. For the nation, Lincoln's impact was monumental. He preserved the Union, abolished slavery, and redefined the meaning of American democracy, asserting that it was a government of the people, by the people, for the people. His leadership during the Civil War set a precedent for presidential power in times of crisis and forever altered the relationship between the federal government and the states. For the world, Lincoln became a global symbol of democracy, freedom, and the triumph of human spirit over oppression. His struggle against slavery resonated with abolitionist movements worldwide, and his words continue to inspire those fighting for justice and equality across the globe. He's a universal figure, representing the fight for human dignity. Abraham Lincoln will forever be remembered as the president who saved the Union and abolished slavery. His leadership during the Civil War, his Emancipation Proclamation, and his unwavering commitment to a unified nation are his defining legacies. He is the embodiment of resilience, integrity, and the American ideal of self-improvement. He will be remembered for his profound moral compass, his powerful words, and his ultimate sacrifice for the principles he believed in. He's not just on the penny, he's etched into the very soul of America.